Anyway, hi, I'm Ormaster 101, and that's Zero-yeti. Thankfully, I checked my mic before, and everything's good, so, yeah. We're playing Demon Tilt, an occult pinball action game thingy. I don't know what it's all about.
Okay, so... First random fact of the day is that tennis shoes were originally made for the British Navy when they were on slippery decks. The shoes came to the market in 1892 and they were known as Pilm soles. They were also given the name of sneakers because they made no sound when walking.
Fascinating.
There was a popular belief in the 19th century that rain follows the plow, which was a theory that believed that agricultural activity would create a rainy climate. One variant of this theory led to widespread dynamiting of the air in the Great Plains in the 1870s to try and create rain clouds. The classic pink flamingo lawn ornament, which was commissioned by New Zealand Plastics Co. and designed by Don Featherstone in 1957, now outnumber real flamingos 7.
Oh no.
Charlie Schultz, the creator of Peanuts, never wanted to name this comic strip Peanuts.
He wanted to name it Cringe-Ass Nene Children.
Like Almond Bunch or whatever.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I'm just making that up.
The Almond Bunch?
Certain ancient cultures would put dead mice in their mouth with the hopes that it would cure a toothache.
Ew.
In 1973, 3 men kidnapped a school bus with 27 children aboard. They then buried them alive inside a box truck to try and get a $5 million ransom.
Ew. The kids were alright, though, right?
I can look 1 second. I don't want to download IT software. Leave me alone.
Do you have any pinball facts?
Yeah. After 16 hours underground, the driver and children dug themselves out and escaped.
Huh. You must have some convictions to bury a fucking, like bus, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a large task.
Yeah, like, do you remember Bones?
The show?
Yeah, the show.
Yeah.
There was a killer, who like buried their victims alive, and one of the victims, well, 2 of the victims, I can't remember their names, but they were 2 of the main characters, got buried in a fucking car, and it's like, ma'am, what the fuck? Like, do you know? Okay, large car. How are you gonna have time to do that? And you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mementos were stuffed into olives by hand until the 1960s. Now they are inserted by a specialized machine made in Spain that also removes the pits with an X-shaped punch, which is why at the bottom of olives you can see the imprint.
Interesting.
The Onion, a satirical news magazine organization, originated in 1988 in Madison, Wisconsin as a weekly print publication. The weekly print media continued until 2013 when it switched completely to be online.
Huh.
This one's something that everyone already knows, but Nixon extended the Vietnam War for political gain. Palm fronds are extremely hardy and are difficult to process into mulch or compost. They take up to 50 years to decompose on their own. The fronds also account for 3.4 of the 1 million tons of waste each year in the Phoenix, Arizona landfills.
Hmm.
Rochester, United Kingdom, was a city for centuries until 1998, when the city council failed to appoint officials called a charter trustees to preserve its city status.
Huh.
In December 2013, a sophomore at Harvard University sent several bomb threats through the Tor network to cancel a political history exam he was unprepared for. He succeeded but was caught the same day.
You
That reminds me of, I had a fucking friend who, like, they didn't want to go to church camp, so they popped their mom's car tires.
Oh. Did they get caught?
Yeah. And they weren't able to. And they ended up basically spending a week with their very angry mother instead.
Oh yeah. Honestly, out of the two situations, I think I would rather... yeah. No, church camp sounds better.
There was another time where he tried to get out of church camp by, like, he was going to stay the week at my house. Because we were in high school together. And I had, like, everything set up, and it took a lot of convincing, but I, like, managed to, like, convince their mother and my parents to, like, let them stay on a call. 1 second.
Oh. I'll keep you all entertained. Anyway, pinball is a game for nerds. Yet I am currently playing it. Anyway, Chris will be back in just a second. Could I offer some random facts? Probably. I don't know a lot of things, though. Does anybody wonder why a Muppet is a puppet, but not quite a mop?
Hi.
Hi. Oh, did you hear my thing about Muppets?
What?
That they're a puppet, but they're not quite a mop. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean.
I have no idea what you mean.
Okay, so that
Are
plan.
you gonna go somewhere with it?
No, I wasn't gonna go anywhere. I was trying to fill dead air.
Okay. So plan of what?
Okay, what happened? Why did your plan fall through?
Oh, because he decided that, so, like, the plan was, like, it was the week before spring break, and their parents were leaving on Friday. And so after school on Friday, he was going to come over to my house. He didn't show up to school that Friday.
Oh, God, what happened?
Because he just wanted to skip school.
You dumb
and he
motherfucker.
He left to, like, walk to school. And then when his parents had left the house, he snuck back into his house and, like, went back to sleep and, like, then played some video games, and then was apparently going to try to, like, walk over to my house. But that all fell apart when the school, like, the principal and everyone was like, oh, we have a missing student. And they started, like, contacting everyone. They, like, pulled me out of class to ask me if I knew where he was. I had no idea where he was. And then their mom showed up, and the mom asked me, like, okay, do you know where he is? And I said no. So I got pulled out of class twice, and they found him at his house in his bedroom. Apparently his parents had to turn around from driving, like, halfway to their destination to go all this and find him. And if he had just gone with them to church camp, he would have been out of school that day anyway.
Hey, this man's dumb. This man's dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Like, you offered him an out and he fucked up.
Yeah. It's like, I offered you a thing, and, like, you just
fucked it.
Threw it away.
You fucked it right in the butthole.
Another random fact is two surfaces can be bonded purely by touching each other if they're smooth and flat enough in a process called optical contact bonding, where the intermolecular forces will hold them together. If you do it with metal, it's called cold welding.
Huh.
If you do two cold enough pieces of metal that are flat enough and smooth enough, they'll weld together.
Interesting.
In 1933, FBI Director John Edgar Hoover learned of a namesake who had failed to pay a debt of $900 to a store in Washington. As Hoover was particular about paying his bills on time, so he did not want to be associated with this disrespectful behavior, he changed his name to J. Edgar Hoover.
Oh, Hoover, you dumbass. You dumb, stinky person.
There were Buffalo Soldiers who were also Freemasons.
Interesting.
A California court ruled that a man was not entitled to the $3 billion market value, $3 billion market value of his cells, which his doctors had secretly commercialized after removing his spleen. Because companies rule everything.
Ew, stinky.
The Self-Transcendence 3,100-mile race is the longest certified running race. The race distance is the distance from the West Coast to East Coast of the United States, plus 11 marathons.
Interesting.
The Dunstable Swan Jewel, which is a gold enamel swan brooch made in England or France in about 1400, is presumed to have been intended as a livery badge given by an important figure to his supporters, probably the future Henry V of England, who was at the time the Prince of Wales.
Prince of Wales, more like Prince of Losers, am I right? Oh.
Cambodians have the longest average work week, while the Danish have the shortest.
Have the Danish just tried harder?
The language of Madagascar, the Danish have probably better lives than we do, on average.
That's how the Danes get you.
The language of Madagascar is distantly related to the languages of Malaysia, Hawaii, and Easter Island.
Ooh.
This has been random fact, whatever.
Blah, blah, blah.
Why?
Okay.